7:05, I'd like to call back to order the February 27, 2024 Waukegan Public School Board of Education meeting. The board previously met in closed session under exception C1, C11, C10, and C21. If I can have a roll call, please.
Mr. McBride. Here. Ms. Fabian.
Present.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Here.
Mr. Riddle. Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
Ms. Lensing. President Ewing.
Here, we do have a quorum. Board member Riddle did let me know that he is under the weather, and so for his own health as well as the health of the rest of the board, he is not present at the meeting. With that, I'd like a motion to go into open session. Resume open session. Motion by Ms. Hannah, second by Ms. Gonzalez. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. We're now in open session. County Board Member Ross Cunningham, if you'd be so kind as to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, I'm going to hold my president's report, so if we can go to student board member report.
Thank you, President Ewing. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope that everyone has been enjoying the weather. It was really nice today, so hope that went well for a lot of y'all. This is my 21st student board member report. This one is going to be pretty short just because, you know, we do have some presentations, and just in general, the presentation just ending up being a few slides long. So if we could go on to the next slide. We're going to talk really quickly about civic engagement part 2, because I did have a conversation about a month ago, talking about ways that students could get involved internationally and nationally and those types of organizations. So I have 3 more to talk about in brief. So next slide, please. The first organization is What We All Deserve, which is basically a youth-led organization focused on social safety nets. May that be menstrual products in prisons, or may that be educational funding and all that good stuff. They more specifically work in California and have a lot of bills being introduced in the California legislature. But over the next few months, for their strategic plan is to really forward and really open up chapters in different states, hopefully in Illinois, because this is a great group of people that really care about the United States and being able to understand and help people within these projects. If anybody wants to talk or just join the project itself, the person to contact is Esther Liu, who's the executive director, and that's their email right there. Next slide, please. Men for Choice, which is a educational fellowship which was started a few years ago, basically just talking about reproductive health and really the status of that within the United States, and being able to give men a chance, or people that identify as male, to really understand and become allies in this movement for reproductive health. And pretty much what they do is basically half and half of political lobbying and educational fellowships. Right now they are doing a educational fellowship, and I'm part of their cohort for the spring of 2024. Really just talks about reproductive health, the myths, the facts, and being able to be a better ally and being able to bring community activism to your communities when it comes to reproductive health and stuff like that. If you want to join or anything like that, the website is menforchoice.org. Next slide, please. I'm going to give them a second. Thank you. The last one for today is the Youth Legislative Action Center, which basically is a civic education organization that really talks about how to get students across the world and in the United States more specifically to be more civically engaged. I work with them, really good group. Their founder is Mizuki Zukari, who is the communications director actually for the High School Democrats. So she's a great person, really is passionate about civic education, and when it comes to policies and legislation in states, half of the work is when it comes to civic education. If I'm correct, right now we're working on helping some academic centers in Kenya to bring civic education to them and just really bringing that civic engagement. As always student-led, because that's the basis of all of this, and was created last year, so actually 2 years ago, and pretty new, pretty great people. If there is any questions, comments, concerns for them, or you want to join, you could always go to youthlegislativeactioncenter.org, or you could contact me, which I am also their chief of staff. So, there's some stuff there. Next slide, please. And that's basically it. Like I said, it was a very short slide. Yes, Ms. Hannah?
Just wondering how many of the students here are involved in the activities that you just mentioned?
Right now, I'm not really sure as a normal amount. Pretty much my entire purpose right now is to really just show students that this is an opportunity that you can take. And I really do hope, and we actually have a lot of students in here today, which I'm really happy about, that if they want to join stuff like this, these are the opportunities you can take. And obviously, if they ever want to talk about it, I'm here to just talk about that type of stuff. But yeah.
Oh, they're going to do a presentation? Okay.
Any other
I
questions?
just like students.
No.
Thank-
Okay, then I
Thank
reserve the
you,
balance
Mr.
of my time.
Hinaus. I appreciate your board member report as always. If we can get the agenda back on the screen, please. All right, so we move on to special recognitions and presentations. We do have a group here from our Waukegan High School National Honor Society. So at this time, I'll turn it over to them.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening for having us.
And I do apologize, but if I know it's a big group, but if you can either hold the microphone or use the microphone and pass it
Yeah, you
amongst
can
you.
take it out if you want to hold it and pass it. All right, let's do that. Good evening, everyone. This is Ms. Sonmaz. I'm one of the mentors, and I'm a counselor at Waukegan High School. So good evening, parents, teachers, and the board members. And
I'm the other counselor at Washington campus, and I'm also a mentor of Ms. Phillip. So I want to take the time to have our amazing NHS members introduce themselves and all the things that they've been doing.
So hi, we are National Honor Society. My name is Karen Ortega, and I am the president.
Hi, my name is Juliana Reyes, and I am the Vice President of National Honor Society.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Villalba, and I'm Senior Secretary from NHS.
I'm Lamero Caesar, and I'm the Junior Secretary of NHS.
Hi, I'm Brandon Aguilar, and for us, I'm the treasurer for our group.
And my name is Madeline Montiel. I am the historian for this group.
yeah.
All right, looks like the slides are here. So one sec, guys.
What is NHS and how do we help? NHS provides recognition for students who demonstrate excellence in scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Through these pillars, our goal is to help the community and while doing so, form bonds that ultimately bring us closer together.
Volunteering. Throughout the year, our NHS members have put in hundreds of hours of volunteering. Not only have they spent time to help out the community, but also help out with projects within the NHS team.
Okay, so one of our arguably our more important things we do for NHS, so in the month of November, we basically have our annual food drive. So with the help of all of our members, which is like 80 plus people, as well as people in the community or like from the school that wanted to help us out, we were able to raise over 4,000 non-perishable food items like food cans, and then we were able to donate them all to the Waukegan Housing Authority, to people in need.
Very good.
Nice.
We do a lot of fundraisers. Throughout the school year, we have been able to host a variety of fundraisers. Some of these include our Hot Cheeto fundraiser, our Candy Cane fundraiser, and our most recent Valentine's Day Crush for Crush fundraiser.
And lastly, we would like to thank all of your support for to our Waukegan National Honor Society members, and our team is very grateful for the donations of shirts that you've given to our program, and all of the shirts are a great hit among our school. And whenever these members wear our shirts, they bring the community together and they give a sense of prideship and community within our members. And also, we would like to invite all of you to our National Honor Society induction ceremony that will be held on March 20th, and also our senior night, which will be at 6 p.m. Thank you.
March
Awesome.
20th,
Yes, March 20th. And what was that time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Where?
At Brookside the Trap Auditorium, March 20th at 6.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead, Ms. Lindsay, and then Ms. Hannah, and then Ms. Fabian.
Do you want to go first?
Battle it.
Oh, okay. Well done.
Thank you.
National Honor Society is no joke. It takes a lot of hard work, so we're all very proud of all of the members. Also, I love that hot Cheetos are still popular. I'm not gonna lie, that was the hot ticket when I went to school. I had a question regarding the food drive that you guys did in November. Apologies if I missed information, but are we trickling this down to like the middle schools and the elementary schools as well so that they can funnel it back up so you can make it bigger, or is this something you can possibly look to do next year?
That was my exact question, because historically, National Honor Society starts in middle school. And is that still the case?
Okay, well, currently it's just in the high school, but like it would be nice to have it bigger and like make it bigger. But right now it's just in the high school, and we just.
Yeah, I was part of it in junior high, so I'm with you. I'm with you.
It started. That's where students began the National Honor Society journey, and I didn't know that we had discontinued doing that, because I was talking about telling students about getting in Junior National Honor Society in middle school.
Yes. And good evening, Board and Superintendent. Let me make a clarification. Yes, we do have National Honor Junior Society in middle school. We do an induction every year. They do service hours, so we do have it in middle school.
Beautiful. So it's just the food drive trickling down that they can put up toward the full contribution.
Now, we don't know about the food drive, but we do the inductions and they do service hours in middle school.
Right.
So for the food drive, typically it's an event and you pay with the cans to get into the event. Is that what happened this year?
Okay, so clarification, we are NHS officers from our high school, so we're just members from our high school, and our food drive is only for juniors and seniors for now. We would like to change that obviously furthermore, but for now we're following the format that we were given from the years before.
Okay.
We are freshman COVID people, so we're just following the format that we were given.
Okay.
No,
So
it's just a question to, because
no.
if it wasn't going on, it's just like a seed plant. There's no like pointing fingers like no, none of that at all.
No, yeah, we would like to obviously change it for further more generations. But
Yeah,
for now,
previously it was
what
an
we have
event
done.
that you guys would have people bring in donations of cans, and then that was put out to the entire community so that families could bring their kids to the events.
Beautiful.
So.
And then historian. Can you help us understand what historian is, that role?
So a lot of what I do is I keep track of just about everything we do here in the National Honor Society. I also keep track of how many chapters we have here in Waukegan. The Waukegan program is about a little over 100 years, or more than 100 years old. We do have a book in our main office where we meet about every week. And at the end of the year, before us senior officers do turn over our positions, we do have all members sign that book one more time as we continue to keep the memory of NHS here at Waukegan and seeing how our program has grown. Again, from the COVID times where our program had almost completely stopped and we all were invited to it. So we're just trying to rebuild it from there. But my job solely is to continue and track everything that we do here in the NHS so that next year's historian has something to build off of and bring back to the team.
Beautiful. Keep up the great work.
Ms. Fabian, Ms. Gonzalez.
And then I just wanted to make a clarification about the T-shirts, because I don't want it to be lost on the audience. So those weren't a donation from the board. That was actually a grant that Ms. Somez wrote for the foundation, and that grant happens every year. We put it out at the end of spring, so you have all summer teachers to apply for that grant, and then we hand it out in the fall. So I know that's extra work that your sponsors are doing, so I don't want it lost, that they went out of their way to ensure that you were provided those things. And then just a plug one more time for the foundation, because I see a lot of staff members here. When you see that grant come out, those are the type of things that we sponsor. And then I also wanted to just highlight Juliana because she was also one of our students who was selected to go to IWAS, which is an International World Affairs seminar. So these kids are doing fabulous things outside of their group as well. So she was able to attend a week-long session at, what college is it?
If you want to share.
Oh, she did a great job presenting. So Carroll College, right? Was that it?
Yes, it was Carroll College. Thank you.
So she got to spend a week long there, and we're going to be recruiting again. So if she feels comfortable, which I know she's already done the presentation, if kids want to talk to her about that experience as well, those are other opportunities that our students can be a part of. So thank you, and thank you guys for presenting.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I hope that you beat the weather going back home. I just wanted to reiterate, and that was a perfect segue actually, because in addition to the foundation giving teacher and staff grants, we have a scholarship, one of many local scholarships that you all should apply to. The Waukegan Strong Scholarship is live. It closes April 1st. I know that the counselors probably have already been encouraging you all to apply, but this is something that you can add to the application and make it stronger. So yeah, I just wanted to pitch that too, because it's around the time that you guys start thinking about that as well.
For our seniors.
Yes, seniors.
I saw the face.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys for coming and presenting to the Board of Education, and also for how well you represent Waukegan Public Schools and give back to our community. So thank you so much. All right. We are now at our opportunity for public comment. We can have the comment sheet. When I call your name, call a few names at a time. Please line up in the order of which I call you. If you need translations, each speaker will get 3 minutes. If you need translation services will be provided to you. You will get 6 minutes to allow for the translation. We do ask that you refrain from mentioning student and staff member names in your remarks. If you have student staff names or remarks, and we do want to remind all our speakers of civility. So we have 3 names in order. First name is Ray Vukovic, Cornelius, and I think that's Moshi, and then Randy Sabecki in that order. Whenever you start speaking, Mr. Vukovic. In 1 second, looks like. Get the clock. Whenever you're ready.
Good evening. You guys are good. You know, you're good at kind of changing things around, keeping things from the public, and that kind of thing. Talking about item number 17D, historically this board has always discussed beginning of year, middle of year, and end of year data at a student achievement meeting, which was just last week, and that wasn't there. That's an opportunity for the public to ask questions about what's in that report. Furthermore, you put it on, or it was put on your agenda when the agenda was released on Sunday night, but then since that time, the attachment appeared. Now, I know you're not taking any action on it, but some members of the public that look at the agenda shouldn't have to go back repeatedly to see if things are added. You know, you just look at some of the information there, such as the number of first graders that took the test. There were 187 less in the middle of the year than at the beginning of the year. Kindergarten, there were 301 more. So, you know, are we looking at the right data? I'm sure you're gonna somebody's gonna say this is great. You know, we're making some progress, and there is some progress that's been made there. But you've got some other areas where you still have some big problems. Look at there's 2 schools there that have had heavy turnover in staff, and one of them is flat. Another one is down. You need to be looking at that kind of stuff. The second item I want to bring up, back in September, this board had a budget presentation, and the board president went on record saying that there would not be a tax increase on the taxpayers. Then a couple of months later, the board voted to raise property taxes, and there still is a window in March for you to do the right thing and keep your pledge from last September and keep the levy flat for the people as was promised back in the fall. Just something for you to consider. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
And whenever you start speaking, Mr. Moshe, your time will begin.
All right, so first of all, thank you all for allowing me to come up here and speak for a few minutes. I just want to say I have a tremendous amount of respect for educators, youth workers. I believe like whenever you're pointing to youth, you're not just pointing to them, you're pointing to their communities, and you're like literally helping to make the world a better place. So thank you. My name is Cornelius Mosby. I'm the founder of Super Self Institute. It's a social emotional learning program that helps young people tap into their superpowers so that they can become super leaders. For like the last 4 or 5 years, we've worked with various schools across the Midwest and treatment facilities, group homes. We've impacted 1,500 students along the way. I'm proud to say we've been on national news, radio, TV, and I'm very passionate about helping young people. I'm very passionate about helping working with staff as well. And my passion began around like 10 years ago. I was working at a treatment facility for at-risk youth as a youth counselor, and that was this young man named Billy Joe. It's not his real name, I'm just calling him that to protect his identity. So just about every day when I would go into work, Billy Joe would physically attack me or he would physically attack staff. And I couldn't understand why was he so aggressive, right? But I did some digging, did some research, and I found out that underneath all of that aggression was trauma. Like he had been abused by his own family, like mentally, sexually, emotionally, right? So he was neglected love, neglected food. So as you can imagine, all of this trauma was just lingering around and it was just ready to explode at any given moment. So empathy allowed me to come up with creative and innovative trauma-informed practices that helped Billy Joe tap into his coping skills, that helped him understand what self-awareness was and emotional intelligence was. And it also helped me come up with creative empowerment techniques that allowed him to discover his inner superpowers, which eventually led to him discharging from the treatment facility successfully and becoming a super leader within his community. So I was so inspired by Billy Joe's journey that I started Super Self Institute. And within Super Self Institute is trauma-informed practices, is social emotional learning, and everything that students need to navigate towards the positive side of the community. And so we have data, I just passed it around, that shows the effectiveness of the program. That represents 3 cohorts from last year. And I'm here for partnership. I want to partner with the district, and I'm willing to do a pilot program. We have books, we have journals, we have SEL for adults, but one of the things that's going to really separate our SEL from most is we have a mobile app that's rolling out in the next few months or so. It's a comprehensive, holistic, therapeutic platform aimed at providing educational and emotional support to students, staff, and parents.
Thank you, Mr.
Long
Mosby.
story short, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mosby.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
that.
Thank you. All right. Oh, appreciate that.
Randy Sabecki, whenever you start speaking, Mr. Sabecki.
Good evening. So there's a couple things I want to talk about tonight, and I only got 3 minutes. So first thing I want to talk about is the superintendent's bonus. What precedents do we send to these students? When we set goals for the superintendent, she meets 3 out of the 5 that still have not been posted, by the way, for the community. I went back, it's still not posted. So we need to start holding administrators accountable for their job they're supposed to do, and it's not being done. So what precedents do we set? So if a high school student has 5 classes and fails 2 of them, do they get rewarded for the 3 they passed? When we set a goal, an amount of money for a goal, you should succeed in all your goals or get nothing. That's how most jobs work. When you go, you either do what you're supposed to, do the work you're provided, or you don't get anything. And on that, we had 2 board members that did not sit on the board at that time. And when that vote was done, they should have passed on the vote since they didn't sit on the board. when that was done. Second thing I want to talk about, prom. $120 for a prom ticket. You know, I had to leave the student achievement meeting, but I went back and I watched it. And we talked about, Mr. McBride, you pointed out kids wear Jordans, they have iPhones and all this. Yep, that doesn't mean they paid for them. Doesn't mean their parents paid for them. My thing was that, and I'm going to give you some numbers tonight. Our top 30 administrators in our district, top 30, that includes superintendent, general counsel, associate superintendents, deputy superintendents, area superintendents, directors, and assistant directors, and an executive director. The top 30 in our district, just base pay, make $4,558,590.96. And that does not include benefits or all the other perks. So how many of these ones go on conferences? The amount of money they make, why don't they pay for the conferences to go on them? They get more in stipend pay for food and lodging and everything else. And a lot of our kids...
Mr. If we're going to not postpone, if you'll lead us to the tornado spot.
The evacuation site.
There's a basement. It goes down those steps on that wing, and there's another way access.
So can we have two people direct both sides so that we know where to go?
LeBaron, can you have security assist?
Because we just got the warning.
She had one for everybody? Oh, I didn't know if it was. She does. Oh, okay, I didn't know she grabbed it for everybody.
She got honey? No, I know that, baby, but they just...